My name is Adam McAllister, originally from Endicott, New York. I moved out here in 1986. I came down here for a couple of friends of mine that they were punk rockers, they were young kids at the time. He said, dude, I know a killer place to crash at. It's off the beaten path, it's so tucked away and probably no one knows it's there. It's an old abandoned building. I had a very upstairs kind of hideaway that no one can get to, so that was my crash pad. Now it's lofts now. It was just so perfect a place to be. Cops didn't bother us. It was totally industrial. This was like the Wild West at the time, you know. You had downtown LA right there with the police department, or Civic Center right down that way. You had Skid Row would be right behind us about that way to the west, and you had East LA right over the bridge, so it was almost like a corner mecca of anything else that's gonna go wrong will. Al's Bar was one of the most weirdest, funniest, and could be the most dangerous place anyone can be, because it could be like any walks of life can be there. You have gangbangers, hookers, drug dealers, just about everybody else that shows up there, and it could be a fight at just about any minute. That place was unbelievable. Even though you have to look over your shoulder once in a while to get out of the way if someone's throwing a punch at somebody, Al's Bar was the shit at the time. But the Americana itself, man, people in there was mostly artists. It was the only place around here where people could actually live cheap at the time. I'm surprised it's still standing, but I could feel the history once you go up there. It's like a maze inside, but I still love it. There's a lot of people, mostly in that building, who I know. We get along great. I'm what you would consider the lower decks of anyone else can be economically in this district. No loft, no apartment, no room. Have a tent, sidewalk, and corporate neighbors. I'm homeless. Not by design, not by desire, but just by economical reasons. I do survive with a part-time job. I do have friends help me, but I live in the most minuscule ways. I seem to get along fine. You'll just have to live and survive and do what you can and do what normal people normally do, but it will take a lot longer and a little bit more patience and time to do. I try not to bother with anyone with my problems. I try to solve them myself. If I can solve the problems at hand, I can come up with the big one. It's getting out. As a homeless person, gentrification doesn't really affect me that much. The hipsters at this point is not giving me no problems, which is thank God. So I really don't feel the effects, but I can see it in the people's faces that they are very, very, very stressed about this, because it's going to change economically. They will have to make economical decisions to cover or to compensate what they're going to have right now. This is someone coming in your neighborhood, coming inside your community, and want to rewrite the codes of your community. That means drive their prices up. Why these people want to live in a place that used to be industrial? Well, if they want to go ahead and do it, they can do it. But my dad used to say, you look before you leave. If you're going to develop someplace, you don't want to develop a place right next to a graveyard, railroad tracks, which this used to be a rail yard. The rail yard's been moved a little further east because of the metro system, but the ground table water, everything else from the residue from the tracks, they're still in the ground. So, heck, I guess gentrification, you got to have the money, but you really don't have the smarts. The way things changing right now, it will be tougher for a person to do what I'm doing now in a year from now, because they'll have the police involved. They have a little security force right now, which is doing what they have to do. But for them to actually get tough on the homeless, that's going to be right in the makings. I can feel it. I'd rather be inside, but in the meantime, until I can find a solution to get indoors, this is the only best solution that I had at this time. And it's turned out to be a very, 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 very good solution, because the people I'm around with are very good, positive people. I try to lend an ear to whatever they have to say, or we kind of switch ideas, exchange ideas, and things. So it's been like a very good, happy marriage up to this point. Even though I don't live here inside of the art district, I do consider the art district my home, because I feel more at home, even though I don't have one. Any place in LA, this is it. It's the art district.